Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another part of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Last time I let you guys off, we did all the investigation we possibly could and found out that we are now going to be representing Machi Tobaye, or Tobaye. Court is now in session 4. How do I say that?
Machi Tobaye, Your Honor. The Pixie of the Arpeggio.
What in the world, really? Right, his trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is A-OK, Herr Judge.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin.
Ah, my opening statement, yeah?
No, actually, there's something else I wanted to ask you about.
Yes?
Say, you're going to visit someone in a hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them?
Huh?
I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial, the Chief Justice's son. The Chief Justice? His son is afflicted with most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be in order today. Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement. Briefly.
You're in luck, Herr Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think.
Oh boy, this is not going good.
First, to review the victim in this case. Romain Letus, age 35. The global manager for diva songstress La Mirar. The cause of death? Blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details.
The court accepts this into evidence. Okay, we got his TASA report. We're going to check that out for a minute because I think it's going to be really important for something later. 45 caliber? That's quite large, isn't it? That's what she said. Oh! Okay, enough of that. A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet. Judging from the look of
However,
that, yeah.
the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved.
I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse, considering. How could they be much worse than getting shot through the shoulder blade?
2 shots were fired. One shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram.
Okay, we got a diagram.
This is where the bullets hit.
I see. The court accepts this new evidence. Okay, we got our diagram for the case. I think there might be another diagram if I think correctly. If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, you must assume that the killer was adept and used at the weapon's use. Really? Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body. The defense will take more care in choosing examples.
As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the judge in case 3, I would say, has to be the funniest. He has the best lines because of how involved he is. It's kind of funny that I don't know why the judge doesn't really get involved this much in other games, which I probably would say. I think a lot of you would say that he is pretty funny. I really wish I had a voice for him, besides me. But let's keep going.
This dressing room has only one entrance, this door.
That does seem to be the case, yes.
However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots.
He's talking about you and Emma, huh?
Yet when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course.
But that's impossible.
Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person.
Uh-oh. The music kicked in. One person?
That is, of course, the defendant, Machi Tobaye.
Only this defendant could have committed the crime? But how?
It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime scene make it clear.
Very well. I will assume that you had testimony to back up this claim. Woo, 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 woo. Sorry, I had to. Let the witness please take the stand. I wanted to do that was again. Oh, it's Emma Sky.
Your name and profession, please.
Emma Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert for him that night. Emma seems tired, somehow. Security at the concert, you say? Some security I was couldn't even stop a murder. Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know. I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I want to hear about these bigger mistakes.
In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered.
You know, I want to say this right now.
And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please.
Alright. Before I go into testimony, I want to say this one thing. The judge needs his own game. I don't care what anybody says. He needs his own game. I like to be able to play the game from a judge's perspective. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and it turned out the only defendant could have done it. Okay, we want to just a couple things we want to see here. It was lucky that the detective was the first on the scene. But that door was only a way out of the room, right? Yeah, pretty much. Then I don't get it. How could they say that Machi did it? Looks like we need a bit more information. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Don't know what it would do, what good it would do you, because you're all screwed. In a sense, well, yes we are. Okay, murder circumstances. Okay, we want to press this. The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. What was the detective doing on the security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert. My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall.
Conspiracy? She did it!
Well, isn't it obvious? My keys! The whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys.
Okay, you can calm down. You're working up a sweat there, dude.
I couldn't ride my hawk to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case.
There he goes again. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them?
Misplaced them?
You can calm down again, dude. You're working up a cold sweat there.
Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own.
What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect. He's playing the invisible air guitar again.
Love, slow acting and new, atroquinine is waiting for you.
He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top?
The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was, like a sailor, adrift in a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task.
Oh, dang, that's an insult. I see. I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean, time on their hands? Please, a testimony. Dang. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, God. The way they treat Emma Sky is kind of funny. I think it's this one we want to press as well. Yeah, this is the one. Rock. Blaring, yes. When you say rock, are you referring to perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days? That's right. When we went to the dressing room, music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. They piped sound from the stages to the backstage through speakers. That way, people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Makes sense. Did it have to be so loud?
You don't listen to the governors with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul.
Yeah, listen to that music, you probably wouldn't need your ears.
I always have the backstage monitors at full volume.
When we walked into the room, hey, she got her glasses on again. The band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. You could hear that music playing.
Then everyone on that stage has an alibi. Including myself.
Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. I examined the scene, the crime determined that, okay, this is the last one we gotta press. How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen. You know there was only one exit from that room, that door. The small window only opened a teeny crack. And I was standing in front of that door. So how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent. Ah! But that air vent was too small. Who could possibly... Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through there, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. A child? Remember? Access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with this concert were allowed.
And of all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child.
The defendant.
The pixie of the arpeggio flitted up toward the sky.
Sorry, as I rub my nose. Whew.
And disappeared from the scene of the crime.
Man, my nose is... Whew. Sorry about that, guys. But that's just conjecture.
Oh? There was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know her forehead.
And there's another vital piece of evidence. Evidence? What? Marker found on the air vent grill. Traces that had recently been opened. Wait, what? And something else was found, quite clearly. The defendant, Monty Tobeye's fingerprints. What? What? We are definitely screwed here. Order, order, order.
That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, her forehead! What fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that is our pixie.
Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience. I like how there's another person that could be considered a child and involved in all this. So this has to be decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could have possibly left the scene. Simple and decisive. I believe that we have heard enough to determine our verdict. Even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit,
I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough.
It can't be over already. Very well, I believe the trial is finished. The defense has no contradicting evidence.
The prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it better be clean and plain.
Yes, Apollo, they got us on the ropes already. We better come up with something quick. I know. Think, what can get us out of this? We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi is innocent beyond a doubt. Without that, Mr. Justice, do you have a contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you better tell us right now. Or you're even more screwed than you already are. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, do we have contradicting evidence? We'll have to see next time when the next part of Apologist is attorney. Klavier. Dang it, Klavier.